Good morning, Rusty. Thank you
Good
for
morning,
being
Joe.
here.
Thank you, Joann. Good morning. Good morning. Here on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yes,
Over here,
indeed.
it's sorry. I gotta remind myself where I am every time here.
I know. So I'm like, yeah, you've been around, huh? You've lived in a
Yeah.
number of,
So I keep interrupting you. Yeah, I've been around. And I probably will still keep going around. And I do really like it up here, though. I feel even if I leave here, I feel like I'm gonna come back. Um, I don't know. I didn't think I would like it as much as I would. And I didn't think I liked other parts of it here as much as I would, but I've been pretty pleasantly surprised out here with everything. It's
that is
pretty,
good to
yeah,
hear
yeah,
because,
uh,
a lot of people leave the state of Connecticut.
right. And they go down to Florida or or,
The Carolinas,
or
Arizona.
ooh, they're going out to Arizona now. They're sounding like people from Oregon.
Arizona draws people depending upon their health conditions. If they need that type of climate because of health conditions, off they go.
I have a couple friends that are from Portland. They both had some uh some health conditions like that where they needed to be in warm weather all the time and they moved down
Mhm.
to Arizona. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm getting to the point where I don't know, I'm not sure how much longer I can do cold, but we'll see. I'm thinking I might end up being a snowbird
Mhm.
at some point here. I'm only 41, but um yeah, when the winter hits, those yeah,
Yeah.
things start hurting a little bit. So it's nice. Like when I was in the desert or high desert or whatever it is, I guess, um I felt great. I think that's probably what the best I've been feeling, except for in the winter, I guess. But a little south, I guess, would be good where there's not
Mhm.
really snow, but yeah, that high desert is a good climate for me, I think, or the desert. But I don't know. I like trees and I like the ocean and I'll figure it out someday. I still
Yeah.
got time. I got plenty of time.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's easy enough to get around this country, and you've done so much of that already. So,
Right. Yeah, I haven't got to do the South yet. I've been wanting to do the South, which is again something I did never thought I would say. I'm gonna live in the South. And like Iowa, for instance, I fell in love with Iowa, and I didn't think I why would I ever want to go to Iowa? Whoever says they want to go to Iowa, and I went there, and I loved it. I loved Iowa so much. Um, I keep hearing that one day I'm just gonna pack up and leave, and I'm gonna have to go and send be like, oh yeah, hey, I'm over here in Iowa. You want to come move out here with me now? So maybe one day I might end up there, but again, the cold. But um, yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out sometime, and if not, I'll just keep trial and error. Keep with the trial and error. There's plenty of it, and I'll figure out what works.
you are so right. And it's really moment to moment. I have a childhood friend who, a number of years ago, moved out to Iowa. And here in Connecticut, things were not good. The marriage was rough. Her son really wasn't doing as well as he would like to, as they would like him to. So she was able to get a job transfer with the company she was with. So out to Iowa they went. I don't know what happened. All I know is the marriage started thriving and her son was perfectly normal.
Oh, Iowa normal.
Well, he no longer had all of the stuff that he had going on when he was here in Connecticut. He was healthy, he was strong, he was social, he was active, he was just like living life, right?
Yeah, there's something out there, and I don't know how to explain it though either. And again, yeah, something that, but they were smart there, and I'm probably screwing this up for them there. They they like to say out there, how horrible it is out there. You don't come out here, don't move out here. It's just all bad weather and cold and humid, and yeah, you don't want to be out here. That's usually the downfall, is when people start saying how great the place is to live, because then everybody else comes in, they learn how great everything is. That's what's happened. That's what happened to Portland, Oregon. The old mayor there, um, I'm blanking on his name. It was back in, I think, the 70s. He had a saying, visit but don't stay. And I liked it. I wish I remember what his name was right now, but yeah, Iowa's done pretty well with, yeah, just in Minnesota, just you don't need to come here. And so they've kept it pretty low key, but and also Minnesota has some of the best food, like, or
Mm.
Minneapolis had some of the best food in the country, which didn't make any sense to me, except there was no Mexican food. There
Oh,
was maybe like one or two places in the area, and that was only when I talked to somebody recently. I found one place that was, you had to go probably an hour and a half each way to be able to find some decent Mexican food from what I found
mhm.
there. But everything else was really good. But then yeah, come out here and it's kind of everything. So yeah, okay, this is all right out here. Um, but yeah, and it's nice being able to have the flexibility to kind of be anywhere and do work when I want to do work, which is also something that when, growing up, they didn't teach that in school. They didn't teach me in school that I could grow up and work when I wanted to work, and it was very much set on you, you know, go to college, you work however many years at your corporate job, and then you retire and do what else. And then maybe, yeah, you can maybe get a little bit of time. But I mean, like, uh, you might not get that time. Yeah, it might not happen. Like my dad was, I think, maybe a year away from retiring when he died. And
Ooh,
I mean, so like, I don't know. I don't want that to happen. So I've been pretty happy with what I've been able to do, and getting to, yeah, kind of choose what I want to do. And uh it sure doesn't come with everyone patting you on the back right away saying good job. It's usually you're crazy, you're stupid, it's not going to work. But it's, I guess that's motivation. But to kind of switch gears back, so this is your show. So I was wondering, what were you thinking for a name for your show?
oh my gosh. Like I love the hypnosis world, and when I was on, well, I went on your show, and what attracted me was the fact that you are a hypnotist, right?
Right.
So I mean, everything hypnosis, talking hypnosis with Joann. I don't know. I haven't even really thought about it,
That's not a bad name right there either. And I mean, yeah, people, yeah, can go down hypnosis rabbit holes, and I mean, it's good. I think it's something that's not really talked about quite enough.
Yeah.
People talking about hypnosis, or everyone always having the same stigma about hypnosis, or around that same area, just being able to talk about it to different people, especially if you're having other hypnotists on, or even if it's yourself talking about hypnosis for during the show. There's just so much about it that's just seems so mystical. Sounds like a stupid word to use, but it seems like it's this thing that's so unattainable and only a certain amount of people can do it. But I mean, anybody can do hypnosis, and I mean, anyone can have their life changed in 2 hours if they want. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, I'm happy that there's enough people that are talking. I'm happy that I've gotten to meet more people in hypnosis. I've actually on the LinkedIn. I don't know. I do LinkedIn. Do you do LinkedIn a lot? Is that something you're
I don't actually like do it. I kind of like mess with it a little bit, but doing it is more on my agenda to do it.
yeah, that's kind of where I am with it. I don't know what it is. I still can't figure it out. I had to at one point, like when I was working with a program with the state of Minnesota to kind of get my business going, and one of the things was like, oh, you need to go and find 500 people that are in your that are other hypnotists around the world, and but then I don't know, I haven't really gotten really reached out to any of them or talked to them, so I don't know. I guess the point of it was networking, but I haven't really done any networking with any of them, and I don't even know if any of them know I exist because I don't often post on LinkedIn or interact. I don't spend time scrolling through social media. That's one thing I'm very happy that that AI is evolving into. That now you can have AI that can respond positively to other people's posts or answer questions. I like answering questions about hypnosis, but a lot of other things I don't
Hmm.
really, and especially, and I don't want to go and spend my time. So I mean, like I think we talked about this, or maybe we didn't, about during the last few years, how many people have just spent so much time scrolling through social media and that becoming their reality. And I don't know. And it's just so much looking for that quick little jolt of happiness.
Hmm.
And you may or may not find it that day. And it who knows? Who knows if you do or not? I don't know. It's not worth it to me. And I know it's good to be helping out other people when they're, especially other people who are business owners or entrepreneurs of sorts, or, to be able to help expand and, broaden their everything they do
Hmm.
to a bigger audience. But I hope that people reach out to me and I'll share it around, but I, I don't know. I don't want to spend my time going through searching for these and, uh, I feel like I can have a lot better use of my time than doing that. And but I don't know, some people that's how they that's how kind of their business model is to go around being very active on social media and interacting with everybody on that level. And great for them. Great for them, not for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really do believe that we've got to do what we're really comfortable with. Before we started recording, we were talking about enjoying, right?
Right.
So somebody might enjoy being on social media and doing all of those things that can build a business, excuse me, or that can build a large network. Somebody might enjoy that, and then somebody else might not, right? I see it
Right.
in so many ways as you know, a marketing thing where it's important to let people know that we're out there, but you know, like I don't want to be on it a lot either. But I believe, you know, anything else, right? Like, you know, strategies, right? I think that
Right.
there can be a middle of the road strategy for those of us who are entrepreneurs and who don't want to spend too much time on there, because the truth is, Rusty, you and me, we want to be with people. We want to be with clients. We want to be sitting
Sure.
in that office space. People walk in and they immediately begin feeling better. And you know, you used the word mystical. And one of Joe Dispenza's early on in particular missions was to demystify the mystical. Demystify the mystical, right?
Right. It's important.
Yeah.
It's not some abstract thing. It's just it's here. It's right in front of you, and it's okay to touch. It's okay to touch it and interact with it.
Yeah, so demystifying the whole hypnosis thing, right? Like I had two new clients on Saturday. One was on my schedule and she had very high anxiety. Um, just she had some PTSD going on, you know, blah 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 blah. So she came in and it was incredible how perspectives kept on changing for her, because that's what we do, right? We help
Right.
people. We help people to see the light. We help people to hear and see and feel what it is that they just said. And they go, oh, it's okay. That's what I said, but what do you really mean? You know, and then we can get into the
Right.
heart and the soul. And next thing you know, they're out of the muck and mire and they can see clearly. So there's this unraveling process, right? And you know, it has to do with reality. You were mentioning a little bit about social media reality, that some people, it's a skewed reality, right? So there we are, like part of your reality. Well, I drove my father crazy because I wasn't the typical, you know? And right,
Right.
it was like go to, for my father, it was go to high school, become a secretary, get married, have children. And I was like, yeah, Dad, that's nice, but I don't really think. And he was like, oh, Joe, I know you're going to do whatever you want to do anyways. So, so I'm working with this young gal. She's a professional. She's actually a nurse at Yale New Haven Hospital. And coming to the place where we're approaching the eyes closed hypnosis, relaxed in the recliner. And she says to me, and I see she's getting all anxious again, right? And she says to me, will I be unconscious? I said, I hope not. Oh my God, no, not in my office. No, do not go unconscious in my office. And of course, we laughed, right? So she
Right.
said, well, I didn't know what to expect. I said, I'll tell you, it goes like this. You've been going in and out of hypnosis this whole time we've been talking. It's a different brainwave pattern. But now you're going to be able to really kick back and enjoy it. You're just going to be relaxed. You remain in complete control. You remain in complete control. Don't go unconscious in my office. And just letting people know you can open your eyes and say, I don't want to do this if you want to. You can
Sure.
communicate with me if you want to. And just demystifying the whole thing. Go, no, you remain in complete control. And what really cracks me up so many times is when I'm bringing people out of hypnosis, right? They're relaxed in the recliner, and I'll see them like moving their fingers or touching their, and I'll see the look on their face, right? And then
Right.
eventually they'll go, why do my arms feel tingly? And I'll go, well, because you entered into such an incredibly relaxed state, that in that relaxed state, the blood kind of leaves the limbs goes up to the brain, and we experience this super consciousness. We never left this room, but in your mind, you were places, you were seeing yourself anxiety free, you were seeing yourself excelling and doing the very things that you want to do. But we never left the room because we're in a different part of your brain, right? So
Right.
the opposite being when we are experiencing anxiety, whoa, the blood has got to leave the frontal cortex. It has to go to the limbs so we can run from the lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my, it's me. Oh my, it's me. Good news, the
That,
bad news.
right. And that's something that I think that's one thing that I love about hypnosis is that the oh my it's me is good news and bad news. Because there's so much of it gives you there's accountability, and the accountability, like the only person that can make anything better in your life is yourself, like on that level of it. And the fact that just having that power, like, oh yeah, like, oh no, okay, this all falls on me, but oh yeah, okay, good, okay, well, I can do this, and I can work through it, and just being able to have that power of kind of being able to work through, or achieve most anything you want, which told me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed that in a minute. For a minute, I wouldn't have thought that was possible, but I'm happily wrong about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's so empowering because the good news, the bad news, right? The good news is that puts me in my place of power, in my seat of power. I am 100% responsible for me. So then I can power up and go ahead and do, right? But
Right.
the thing is, we're all doing the best that we can do. So people come into our offices, I say to better mind their mind. Come on in. That gal, in those 90 minutes that we were together, what was taking place, changes that were taking place, she's never going to be the same because now she's got a whole new neurology and she can tap right into that. The anxiety hits, she's now triggered to see herself okay. And I often have people place their hand in this area in the office. It is so calming. You don't have to talk yourself into anything, out of anything. You don't have to white knuckle anything. Just interrupt that physiology and just
Yep.
let the body calm down. And then, of course, we can throw in words like, I am safe. Okay. I had to go to the dentist yesterday and I thought I hadn't been in like 5 years. I was way
Yeah.
overdue. So I'm getting all anxious here at my office before I'm heading out to go. I'm in Milford. His office is in West Haven. I'm going to take the waterway because if I take the
Oh,
waterway, I can feel better. It's more expansive, right? I take the highway, that could increase anxiety. So I'm in my office, my heart's beginning to race. I'm getting all anxious, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, really, Joann, really? So I began working some of my tools here in the office. I am safe, even though I'm going to the dentist. It's okay, I am safe. So then I'm in the car, right? I'm in the
right.
car. I've got my hand and I'm going, I am a grown woman. And like going to the dentist is a perfectly normal thing. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Yeah. And what are you afraid of? You're afraid he's going to say, oh my gosh, it's been so long since you've been here. You have a million cavities, blah, 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 blah. Worst case scenario, right? And
Right.
I'm working my tools, working my tools, working my tools. The primary being hand here and telling myself, I am safe. Even though I'm feeling this anxiety, I am safe. So I get there and I was prepared to fill out the form. I had to do some waiting. So while I was doing the waiting, again, working some of my tools, just closing my eyes and observing colors that are playing behind my forehead or making up something like a swirl of color going through my body to relax me. I'm just thinking a different thought. I'm better minding my mind as opposed to going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, he's going to tell me I have a million cavities. So he comes in, and long story short, you know, they did the x-ray of the head. Long story short, he said to me, I think you look good. And I think your teeth look good. And I also think you've done a great job with your daughter. And I was like, oh, like, really?
Uh, You hit the dentist jackpot there. I need to switch my dentist here.
And I'm like, you're not going to tell me I have a million cavities? He goes, you don't have any cavities. He goes, you could use a cleaning. Yeah. Well, I was like, oh my gosh. So then I get in the car, right? And I'm like, see there, why do things work out better than we could possibly imagine? Well, what
What
did
if
we,
we went,
right?
what if we went into that with that mindset? What if things come out better than they really are?
And that thought was not there. That, my physiology was like I was entering a lion's den. Are you kidding me? This is the dentist. You don't even have a toothache. But the stories we tell ourselves, right? When I
Right.
was a kid, I grew up in Huntington, Connecticut. Huntington Center wasn't far from our house, and my mother would bring me down there to the dentist. He was a retired Marine dentist.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And I was just a little pain in the butt. I was just a pain in the butt. And then he would give these coupons because back in the day, right, there was the pharmacy with the whole soda fountain set up with all the ice cream, the milkshakes. And he would tell me, if you be good, you'll get a coupon. And even then I was like, you can keep your coupon, okay? It was like I never went for that kind of stuff, you know? It
Yeah.
was like
Well,
I ended
wasn't
up
worth
getting
it.
the, yeah, right. I ended up getting the coupon anyways. So the stories we tell ourselves, right? So this young gal, she leaves the office feeling so much better. We've done some mental house cleaning. Louise Hay, when she was alive, she would say, to clean the house, we have to see the dirt. And Rusty, that's what we do with our clients, right? It's a
Right.
safe space. In that safe space, they begin saying things. They begin just releasing and relaxing, demystifying hypnosis. We don't put people under. There's no drugs being administered. It's a natural state that we go in and out.
And there's no better place to no better. I mean, if you're gonna find that dirt, you want to find the dirt when you're at the when you're with the hypnotist. You want to, that's the person you want to be with when you find that dirt. Um, you're going to be in the best way to deal with the dirt. The hypnotist is the world's best cleaner, vacuum, mop, uh, whatever it may be, duster. It's the best way to do it. And I mean, just how fast you can get rid of that dirt, and that the dirt's not going to go anywhere otherwise. The dirt's just going to pile up. But
Yeah.
then now you go in here and you're gonna, see the cleaner, and then next time that dirt shows up, you already kind of have the tools. You kind of already have that ready to go.
You just said it, the tools, right? The tools, because everybody's doing the best that we know how to do. But when people come into our type of offices, they begin to learn how to do better. They experience the tools in the office. So we're getting that wired into their system. Now they've got the tool, they've experienced it, it's now in their memory cells. There's that new neurology that they can go ahead and jump into. And then when they leave our office, they can practice it. It's not to say that our problems go away or our anxiety goes away, but what you were just saying, it's now we have a tool. We've got a little cleaner that we didn't have before. So, oh, I see the dirt. And in my office, I tell people, go ahead, let it know. I see you, I hear you. Hug it, squeeze it, kiss it. tuck it in your heart for the day. Let it know, I hear you, I see you, I love you, you're lovable, you're acceptable, all of your feelings are acceptable. Tucking in my heart today so you can just kind of feel the vibe of love. Chill out a little bit. You are safe. We are safe. We're doing this together. It's a whole different conversation, right?
Right. And I mean, it's I don't know. I wish that it was something again, the demystification of it, just how I don't know, if I was a kid, I would have never thought, I can go and get all these tools and all I have to do is go see a hypnotist. And I would have had a much different life, but I also don't know if I would have had that same way to be able to relate to everyone else who's kind of been in those places, because I've been in those places, but also over the last 5 years, I've have a lot of tools. I've cleared a lot of those up, um, which is so weird. Like so many, even if I'm, you know, doing self hypnosis, just letting people know self hypnosis. And I mean, I could go. I remember there was there was this woman I trained with. Her name was Holly, and um, I'd go to her house. She lived right by where I got off, like right by where I worked. And so I'd get off work, I'd go over to her house, but I'd fall asleep, like probably maybe 50% of the time. And she'd have to, wake me up after a while. But just being able to, I don't know, if you fall asleep, it's not a bad deal. I've had people doing the smoking ones that fall asleep and they wake up and I'm like, well, we're done. And
Yeah.
it's it's odd, and it's there. And so I mean, you can, you're not going to be unconscious, but you can fall asleep
Hmm.
if it happens, and it's not a bad thing. But then also, yeah, I can be going through my day, I can be sitting here uh going through and clearing out things that I experienced 30 years ago, that it's like, hey, well, I have a half hour. Let's take care of this. Like, this is something that's kind of been bugging me. Let's work through it. And then, oh, okay, well, okay, I'm done with that. So, okay, well, what's next? So,
Yeah.
um, and, and like I was saying, I think last time we spoke that um, the people who have been doing hypnosis for a long time have a different outlook and kind of a different feel. Like I wouldn't have noticed it before, but if I'm in a room with 100 people, I could pick out the one or two people that are hypnotists, I bet. Just because you can usually see that, like, they're not, I don't know, it just always seems more happy or okay. Not saying that you're happy and okay 100% of the time, but the majority of the time it's just on a different level, because you don't have you have to, you're 600 steps down the road. Everyone's still on that road, but and it's attainable to get there. But you've done it long enough, like you understand where it's going and how, and and I don't know. I mean, I hope one of those things with people that they pick up, if someone's doing something right, ask them a question. How are you doing that?
Hmm.
And it's okay to ask someone that. Some people might tell you to buzz off, but I don't know. I think, whatever it is, if someone's doing something right, ask them how they're doing it. And if they say hypnosis, maybe, I don't know. If someone would have told me that, yeah, right. Okay, sure. Sure, 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 sure. Hypnosis. Okay, yep. What'd you do? You go and you take a pocket watch, and that. Do you own a pocket watch by?
I don't, but I always say, I should have one just for fun.
Yeah, they sell them on Amazon. For you can get one for like $6, $7.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, I didn't know that.
yeah, I um don't know. There was one of the things that was like uh the guy who taught me. It's like, well, you can get one just for one of those things, just to kind of, if someone ever asks, like, oh yeah, sure, I got a pocket watch, but do you ever use it? No, no. Um, and but then you realize that just so much, like I'm with the, I don't know, just, I mean, for PTSD, I always bring this up, the PTSD, like how fast you can go through it, whether it's something that you think it is, and it's probably not even that's really messing with you. It's probably something from before then, and then you can get to that PTSD episode later, but there's probably something before it. Like you said, it's always about peeling back that onion more and
Yep.
more and more. You get to the core. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. And then okay, this is okay. Here's your hug. It's okay. And you move forward, then you have the hardest part done.
Hmm.
And but that hardest part now is not going to come back and haunt you, and someone brings it up, you're like, it's not going to stop you in your tracks, and you're going to be debilitated, and just roll over, and that's it for the day. You have the tools now. You have the tools, like, okay, I've gone through this. I've taken care of it. I've told it it's okay, and that's something that's, I don't know, as valuable as anything can be. Um, it's a little extra bit of knowledge, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, PTSD is very, very real, very real. And, in my work, I tell people, you can do life, with this anxiety once they've had the experiences in the sessions of working through some stuff, of calming, and they've got some tools. They can still have anxiety, but the way that they manage it, the way that they handle it, rather than the resistance, there's more of the okay, the accepting, right? And with the PTSD, I got to tell you, I went through a family crisis, to put it mildly. And like you're saying, there's usually something before. It was really years. It was really years. But I would say, the family crisis, between these months and those months, I didn't look at it as years when I was in the midst of the crisis. And in the midst of the crisis, it was so threatening to my being that I was literally scared of my own shadow. I'd be going out to my car at night and I'd be jumping out of my skin. It was my shadow. I'd be outside daylight, walking a little bit in between clients, and the wind would blow my hair. I'd jump out of my skin because our brain is wired to keep us safe. It is wired for our survival. So when we have an experience that grabs us in our neurology, that grabs us in that survival brain, it's on high alert and it's like, don't let it happen again. But it is not logical. And that's where the work comes in. Sitting in the doo-doo of but my shadow scared me. Okay, your shadow scared you. That's right. You're on high alert because you've got this threat going on. Okay, okay, okay. And again, we begin calming the body, calming the system, calming the system, calming the system. And then in hypnosis, I love doing what I call dialoguing, back and forth. Some people call it root work. Some people say it's having a conversation with the subconscious. Not every session is like that, but there are sessions when it's appropriate to have that. And in that relaxed state, out of that survival, analytical, logical part of the brain, out of there, people are into this, they're into their heart and their soul. And my personal opinion, man, they are into their essence, they're into they're untainted by the world energy, right? And
Right.
in that place, surfacing what it is that they felt. And and if you were the adult there then, what would you have said to that child? And we just keep going through it, right, Rusty? And people come out changed. And like you were saying earlier, you know, you're just going about your business and you notice, gee, that thing doesn't bother me.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, spend an hour and a half with Joann, your life's changed. I mean, that's not a bad deal. I mean,
And as
and
it is with you, Rusty, because of the line of work that we're doing, I just think it's so personal, so precious. And you talked about how when you first started working with that hypnotist, you slept, right? So
right.
I tell my clients, I don't know what you're going to do. You might
Yep.
fall asleep, you might not. But if you fall asleep, that's because that's what you need to do. Your
Yep.
being needs to fall asleep. But the part of the brain that we are speaking to never goes to sleep. The subconscious never goes to sleep. Every split second of our life goes there. Then there's no resistance whatsoever. If somebody needs to sleep, it's because they need to like get out of the resistance. And other people, and I've had clients come in who were like, I'm not shutting my eyes. I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
shut your eyes.
Right.
And then eventually you
Yeah.
just watch them shut their eyes. And I'll get vets that will come in and I'll tell them, because they'll be like, hey, Joann, I might get triggered. I'm like, right, of course you might. That's, you're used to that. Okay. You have reason for that. All right. So, you know, look around the room, verify you're safe. You know, again, placing the hand here, I am safe. I'm looking around the room, I'm seeing that I am safe. And in hypnosis, again, I tell people you can open your eyes, you can say anything that you want to say. And I've had them open their eyes and go, I just got triggered. They're saying it to me calm. And I'm like, you right, because that's
Right.
what you do. So
Yeah.
look around the room. What town are you in? What state are you in? Are you safe? I don't even have to say you want to close your eyes. Bam, they close their eyes, back into hypnosis they go. It's so funny. Some
Yeah.
people will have such a level of relaxation that they feel very light, almost like they're floating. And then it like freaks them out, right? So then they have what I call a crash landing. Then boom, next thing you know, they're jumping and they're because that state of relaxation is so foreign. Survival brain is like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know about this.
Yeah. And that survival brain can't take on any new information. Like you said, it's always just, uh, you know, logic and everything else is kind of out the window. It's just survive.
Right.
And yeah, once that's eliminated, um, there's no reason not to just to heal. And uh, one side note I have you done anything with float tanks before, sensory deprivation tanks?
I have not, but I know people who have.
So, yeah, okay. So with hypnosis, I wanted to try to figure out how to double down on relaxation with hypnosis. And one of the things I learned is that with uh, like you can't do it at a massage place with people. This might have just been in Oregon with people who don't have their clothes on. You're not allowed to do hypnosis with people who don't have their clothes on. Um,
Hmm.
Something I didn't know. So, because I was like, oh, that'd be great to be able to be getting a massage while getting hypnosis at the same time.
Hmm.
But then with the deprivation tank, I thought, okay, well, so when they want to, bring you out of it, and they're like, okay, here you time to get out. They go and they slowly turn on the music a little bit to, it's time to get up and get out. And so I thought, okay, so there's speakers in there. So that means that, like, why couldn't it just be not at the end? So I tried this, and I had my friend Crystal try this with me. We were in different tanks, but uh, just because they had a deal, it was you could go like I want to say it was like 2.5 hours if you do it at night. And so just maybe do like you know, hop in, give her 5 minutes and then start, just a hypnosis relaxation recording that I did, and then play that, and then just let it go. And that's something. I have a friend in Portland who owns a float tank place too.
Hmm.
And I've been trying to talk with him to get him to do it, but I don't know. It's been difficult, but uh being able to kind of double down on it. But that was one of the best experiences I've had. And maybe a massage with it recording, maybe not having the actual hypnotist in the room, maybe a recording.
Hmm.
But I've been yeah, toying with these extra levels of relaxation with the hypnosis, which already gives you crazy, uh, I guess that's some sort of weird addict mind of mine or something of wanting to get it better and better and better. But whatever it was, but those float tanks, it's pretty great. If you, they have ones that look like an egg or something sort of. Um, that opens up sort of like a clamshell kind of a thing. And those ones are good, but they sometimes you can kind of see a little bit of light coming through. But there's some that are more like it's almost like a part of a room that's blocked off.
Yeah.
And then there's like a shower in the outside part, and then there's the door.
Hmm.
And those ones because you have a lot more room in there, and it's completely black and completely
Hmm.
soundproof, and
Hmm.
just being able to have that with hypnosis was
Hmm.
something that was pretty unreal. I didn't mean to get sidetracked. I
Oh, no,
just
this is great. I love it. I
well,
agree with you. And I think there's float tanks in Branford and in Trumbull in Connecticut. Now, to your point,
uh-huh.
I had seen something a number of years ago where in California it wasn't uncommon for the acupuncturist to be doing hypnosis as well. Or
Great idea.
or the acupuncturist and the hypnotist in the room. So I did do that a couple times. There was a local doctor, local naturopathic doctor, who let me do it. But here's the thing. They tend to, well, let me just use him as an example. He didn't have low lights. He didn't have the relaxing atmosphere. There's his patient on the table. There's the fluorescent lights. you know there's no music, there's nothing really calming about the whole thing as far as I was concerned. So I did work with two different clients of mine, patients of his, and it was very, very cool. But doing that with somebody in a float tank, phenomenal. But again, doing that with somebody who's got an acupuncture type room, that is, oh my gosh, you got my light bulb going over here. I got to write myself a note.
Uh,
Oh,
Acupuncture. Did you
yeah.
do acupuncture when you were there? Did you do it
Um,
as well?
no, I'm not. Nope, nope. So the client patient on the table went in with a plan. One woman was to stop smoking. So, you know, the acupuncturist will place needles accordingly for stop smoking, right?
Right.
So the needles were placed, and then I was doing the hypnosis, literally as if she was in my office in the recliner. Ha, let me tell you,
Yeah.
floaty, the word floaty, I love that British word. She was so floaty because, to your point, how are you causing the experience to be even greater? Because the float tank or the acupuncture needles are naturally inducing relaxation. And then we go in there with our words, with everything that we do, and the person's experience is double the pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely. And what
the,
about
the
Reiki, right? What about
and
Reiki?
Reiki as well. Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah, there should be more teaming up of these kinds of people. And yeah, the acupuncture was great. I've done acupuncture. I enjoyed it more in a group setting, except
community.
for one time. One time, I got to do it where uh, I had a little sheet, but I had all my clothes off, and I got to lay on my stomach and low light. It was great. That one was great. But the way I got introduced to it was I was, let's see, I don't know, it was like a health clinic or something, and they would
Hmm.
do there was the naturopathic clinic, which it's insane how much I didn't realize how much schooling people who do acupuncture have to have.
Yeah.
Uh, it's unreal. And so this was right. I think they have to do like six, seven. They have to do like the college. They have to do their medical, and then they have to do, I think, then like 3 years more of acupuncture. And so this was right before the people are graduating, and then the guy who was teaching was in the room, kind of, going around with everybody to kind of, give them pointers and stuff. And so there would probably be like 9, 10 of us in the room, all sitting in those zero gravity chairs. And
Hmm.
just with having the amount of people around, just all kind of having that same sort of relaxation energy, just really, I always felt like I got a great, uh, and it's wild. Like when they put it in and it's there for a while, and then after a bit, they'll go and they'll twist the needle and just opens everything up. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
one, but yeah, if you can get working and work with any one of these groups, I would and you do some sort of group combo.
Hmm.
I mean, I think that can revolutionize a lot of things there. And I'd also recommend you try the float tank and acupuncture yourself.
Yeah.
Um, just yeah, I mean, if you can be able to combine them, I just
Hmm.
what I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that I never think I'd get into any of those three things. And hypnosis, acupuncture, even a massage, massage or float tank, and just being able to
Hmm.
start putting those things together and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
double it
have
up. And
I have done acupuncture, and I have been in community acupuncture many times. And that community acupuncture room and the acupuncturist I found to be very healing. And for me, you know, once those needles are put in, we begin to go into a very relaxed state. Naturally, the brainwave pattern begins to change. And for me, the acupuncture community acupuncture was so much more because while I was there, I would just be praying for people. I would just be sending healing, compassionate love into each and every person's life. And I just felt like floaty, man. I was on top
Right.
of the world. I was feeling good from the acupuncture needles. And as we give, we receive. It was just beautiful. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think bringing the hypnosis in with like the float tank, bringing it in with the acupuncture, with the Reiki. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Because it just any of those places the I think one of the most telling places of all those places is watching the people that are leaving. Uh, a hypnosis office, a Reiki office, a acupuncture office, or a float tank. You watch people leave, and you see how people are looking. I remember going to the float tank after the first time, and you get a bathrobe when you're done, they had like tea and kombucha out in the lobby, and you see people that are done, waiting for the other person to get out, sitting out there, and just I'm like, okay, these people are onto something. And then same with the people with or the first time, watching people get hypnotized, or first time watching people get acupuncture or a massage, and just realizing that there's something to this, and it should be a lot more readily available if possible for as many people. And yeah, again, to demystify
Hmm.
what is happening, because with acupuncture, like, I don't know, I have tattoos and I've had piercings, but I don't I can take getting shots. I don't want to look at them, but then like people, I'm afraid of needles, and I don't like needles. But then just being
Hmm.
able to get to that point of, oh, it's okay to stick these in here, it's fine. And again, it's that demystification, and just being able to just trust the process. I guess I'm not big on that term, but it's, I guess, just something that everyone kind of has to experience. And I don't know, maybe watching other people do it might be able to let them know that it's okay. And same with hypnosis, like all the people that have told me, oh, I don't want to come out clucking like a chicken. And like, okay, sure. If you want to, you can. If you, I don't know, sure, you can cluck all you want. You'll probably be clucking anyway if you're going to walk out of here clucking like a chicken. But,
Right. And
just being
that's the stage hypnosis.
right. And
And what
that's,
we're
but
doing is not stage hypnosis.
right. And I feel that's a lot of people think that, it is stage hypnosis. And that's what I thought it was. And it took me that before like the first day I went in and talked to the guy that taught me.
Yeah.
Um, I thought everything was just, I thought it was all, I thought both were totally fake. I
Yeah.
thought that, and it took me till the first time that I got hypnotized. I was like, I was wrong, and I'm happy I was wrong. I couldn't be happier that I was wrong. And
Yeah.
that's, that's something that I can just always say, and just how great it is. Hypnosis is great. Hypnosis is great.
Yes, that's the name
And
of your practice, isn't it?
that's the name of my practice. And I just keep saying it. And it made sense. It made sense to me. And I still say it. And it's one of those things that you can tell in my voice too when I start talking about hypnosis, and someone wants to talk about it. Like I got all excited about it. I'm like, oh, I got to tell you about this. And especially if it's a friend I've had for a long time
Yeah.
who once got hypnotized, or something to that effect. And it's like, okay, yeah, let's do this. We're gonna have fun. And then there's, yeah, many different avenues of hypnosis I've gone down, some of them pretty wild. Um, that's that's a whole different
Mm-hmm.
can of worms of that story. But yeah, I haven't found one that I haven't enjoyed or
Mm-hmm.
um, got to see. So yeah, I mean, when you hypnotize people, you get hypnotized too. So
Oh,
it
heaven,
works out
right?
okay.
It's that brainwave pattern of relaxation. I forgot how to count recently. I was counting a client out and I realized I had forgotten how to count.
You're like, oh well.
That relaxed state. And there I am, the hypnotist in the relaxed state. How can you not be? I was still functioning. I just forgot how to count, you know?
Yeah.
So I brought them out of hypnosis in a different way. and and I thought it was pretty funny. So your
That-
practice, do you have a location or do you work solely remote?
I'm solely remote. I had a location at one time, and if somebody is local and wants to meet me somewhere, I'll take you somewhere.
Mhm.
Um, but no, I don't have an office. I just got to a point where it wasn't necessary for me, and um, I don't know, because I mean it can be, and some people it works better. I mean, it's great to have an office because, and some people, especially if your house is the place that you're trying to get away from. Being in somewhere else is a great thing. But some
Mhm.
people, yeah, like to be at home, and I like to be at home. I
Mhm.
like I like being able to have my cats around,
Mhm.
and then yeah, I mean I can have people go out and they can sit under a tree. They can go. Uh, I don't know if they want. They could uh, float on an air tube down the river for a couple hours, or on a raft if you don't need to steer or anything, or
Mhm.
yeah, wherever they may be, wherever they want to be comfortable. They know. I think the people know where they're most comfortable.
Mhm.
But then sometimes too, if they have kids or loud animals
Right.
or something, then it probably not going to have the best experience at your house,
Mhm.
and then it's great to have be able to go to an office. And the office I had was right off of a, a pretty major road, when I was in Portland, and so that was when I started making sure that I'd have the clients wear noise canceling headphones and
Mhm.
do it through that. And I've kind of done that with a lot of. I'll ask my clients if they have that, as opposed to anything, especially if you never really know what's going to happen, or someone forgets to. I'll tell people to turn their phone off and still something rings, or
Mhm.
that you start hearing dogs and like, oh, my dogs are barking. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about the dogs.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh
just
yeah.
go back and like, okay.
That's right. It's so true. Some people prefer remote. I have people here in Connecticut who prefer to do the remote because then there's no commute for them. They can
Right.
just be home and stay in that nice, relaxed state. I have a client in Alabama, and back in 2020, 2021, we were having a session, and she literally in Alabama, she literally has a mobile home and it's parked on her sister's cotton farm. And there she'd be, right? So she had this beautiful cat. And one day there she is in hypnosis in her living room. And the cat comes along and is looking at me on the screen, just looking at me on the screen. But as the cat is looking at me on the screen, the cat's tail is in her face. So didn't phase her one bit at all. I bring her out of hypnosis. We're chit chatting. She goes, "Oh, I don't know why my nose and my face feels so itchy." I said, "Because you got cat butt hair on it." She goes, "What?" And I told her, and she was cracking up. She didn't feel the cat there. And another one of my clients back during that time, she lived in Milford, and we were meeting via Zoom because it was her preference. And she had this dog, and he would like go into hypnosis with us, right? And one day she's
Fun.
like, he's not waking up. Get him out. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is he breathing? She goes, yes, but he's not waking up. Let him be, man. He's chilling.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
chilling. We're
He'll
not
be
going
okay.
anyplace. And
Yeah.
and it was so funny. She goes, he's stuck in hypnosis. I said, your dog is not stuck in hypnosis. Nobody can get stuck in hypnosis. It's a natural state. Your dog is just enjoying the relaxation. So yeah, right? It's a
Yeah.
vibration, it's a feeling, it's an energy, it's a change in our physiology from the of life to the, oh yeah, this is life as well. It's that slowing down to speed up. I lead Yoga
Yeah.
Nidra for the City of Milford employees for their employee wellness program. And it's 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock every Tuesday, 1 to 2. And not very many people come because they don't really understand what's going on. Like I'd like the program to let me circulate a little bit more and talk with people about it. But
Yeah.
what happens is the people who do come, they experience the slow down to speed up. They slow down, they relax, all of their stuff just floats away. The current of the river just takes it. They are refreshed and renewed. They step back into that office in a much better physiology than they left. Their co-workers are not aggravating them as much. They're not as overwhelmed with the work. The slow down to speed up. Oh, yeah.
And being able to have that in the middle of the day,
Whew,
just middle of the week.
right?
And then, yeah, that it's,
Absolutely.
I hope that there's more of that. You getting to do that, in more places. How'd you get into yoga? How'd that happen?
Well, that's the Yoga Nidra. So Yoga Nidra is really yoga of the mind, Yoga Raha.
Hmm.
So back in 2019, I knew that there was something so much deeper in the world of hypnosis that I hadn't come across. It wasn't coming along in my traditional searching. So a friend had invited me to go to a neighbor's house for Yoga Nidra. I didn't know what it was. She said, oh, just bring your yoga mat. We just lay down, we just relax. And the yogi, truly a yogi who led it, had her whiteboard out and she began to explain how the mind works. She began to explain the different parts of the mind, the subconscious, the conscious. She was speaking our language. So,
So
woohoo!
how do you spell that?
It's Nidra, Yoga Nidra. And
Okay.
Scott Moore, look for Scott Moore. Oh, I
Okay.
think that you would
I-
vibe with Scott
I've
Moore.
never heard of it.
Oh my God. So yeah, I think you would vibe big time with Scott Moore. He also is a musician, kind of, he seems to like travel the world. Oh, so I'll do so anyway, so I found this was the deeper thing in hypnosis that I was looking for. So I lead yoga nidra groups, and the zero gravity chair is, I love that because the yoga mats can become uncomfortable, whatever, right?
Right.
So I also do private sessions with the yoga nidra. It's not like hire Joann for private yoga nidra, right? It's a
Right.
form of hypnosis that I'll use. And Scott Moore teaches I forget the word now that he uses, but in hypnosis, we call it dialoguing back and forth. We call it having a conversation with your subconscious. So in his yoga nidra, he opens up questions, just like we would do in our root work when we're dialoguing back and forth. But Scott Moore is so freaking cool. And I love his style. His style is not the traditional manual. There's a local yogi. Her first name is Berta. Berta is yogi, and practices Hinduism. She teaches the metaphysical stuff. She's the real deal. And laugh and joy. Oh my goodness. Such a delight. And I'll send you, I'm going to write myself a note over here.
Sure.
Because she's doing a free yoga nidra. I just saw it come through today. And I'll send it. But Berta does it by the manual. I don't. I'd love to give you an experience.
Anytime.
All right.
Anytime.
We'll do
Yeah.
it. We'll do it. We'll
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe I can come out to Milford.
yes. Oh my God, that would be
Yeah.
so cool. I would love
Sure.
it.
Yep. I'm all about that. Yeah, you don't have to twist my arm for,
Yay.
for that. So, uh,
So,
yeah,
so let's wind up this recording and
sure.
then we'll make the arrangements for that get together. And
Sounds great.
if you don't mind letting people know a little bit more about you, how they can contact you, all that jazz. And I do wanted to ask you to mention your Sock 'em Up program.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, sock 'em up. It's nationwide right now. So coast to coast. And so what it is, right now, the item that people in need are that is most requested but least delivered on is socks. And a new socks, happy feet, happy peeps. Yeah, like a new pair of socks can really change someone. And it's I don't know why. And especially uh I mean, so the other part of it, like I guess it's based in Portland, Oregon, where there's, you know, uh Nike, Adidas, Columbia, all that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, socks are pretty important. And so like um yeah, and we team up with some MMA gyms and some fighters and other combat sports and be able to then create a youth program for them to kind of get them, for teenagers that are going it could be going down a better path, get them into that. And yeah, it's been just kind of a snowballing thing. I think we started it, I don't even know, 2020 or so, maybe 2021. And
Mhm.
it's just gone and gone. And yeah, now it takes a long time, especially when everything government wise was closed down to
Mhm.
get that going. But it's been great, and it's been great to be able to get some socks on some people. And I I didn't think I'd you know be involved in the sock game. I've especially, I mean, because yeah, I've had a lot of people in my family have worked for Nike, and so I've had socks galore. And so it's nice to be able to get some other people some socks. And especially being here or being in Portland, if you've ever stepped in a puddle first thing in the morning, having a pair of wet socks is not one of the better feelings in a day. So being able to have clean, dry socks is it can really just kind of change your whole outlook on a day.
Mm.
But
Oh, yeah.
other than that, yeah, people can go there, sockemup.org, SOCKEMUP.org. And if you want to find me, uh, go to rustydiamond.net. There's hypnosisisgreat.com. Uh, if you want, you can say that in the style of the Blue Danube Waltz, and it'll be stuck in your head forever. Um, and then there's podcasts on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network. There's the Public Access Podcast. when the gloves come off. This is it with Lizzie, Saved by the Ben, and the Thinking Man's Pro Wrestling Podcast. And it doesn't end. There's a zillion things, but that's the way my brain goes, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And so, but if you go on rustydiamond.net, they has my, any way you can contact me, email address, phone numbers on there. You give me a call. I'll talk about whatever you want. I'll talk about, especially if you want to talk about hypnosis, I'll talk about it forever. And just phone numbers up there, and it goes right to my phone right here. So, do that, and if you want. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Joann. I enjoyed this conversation. I'm glad we got to, you know, be able to collaborate and come up with some possibly new breakthrough parts of hypnosis.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
You are so welcome. The first time I met you, I was so intrigued. All of the things that you just mentioned, all the different things that you mentioned, I was intrigued by that because I find that to be like, wow.
My brain's all over the place. It doesn't stop. So,
I think it's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. You are welcome. And thank you so much for being here. So I will push the stop recording over here, and we can set you up for coming in.
Yeah, and anytime you want me back on the show, I'm there for you.
Thank you. So twice now, I have to say, Rusty has called us the show. So I had asked Rusty if he would mind letting me interview him because I thought, well, I'm intrigued. I'd love to hear more from him, and we share this hypnosis passion. So the show today would be the first one, and may there be many more.
Congratulations.
Talking hypnosis with Joann is definitely a lot of what's going to be going on. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for inspiring me to do it.
Absolutely. Thank you. You're very welcome.
You are welcome. I'm going to stop this thing now.